Look further north now, and it could be au revoir to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who is widely tipped to announce his resignation as early as today, ahead at least of a national caucus meeting on Wednesday. The embattled leader has been under immense pressure in recent months as poor polling shows his government is on track to be defeated by the opposition Conservative Party. James, it's been quite the fall from grace for Mr. Trudeau. At one point, he could do nothing wrong, even when he was pictured in blackface, for example. He was fine.
This is the guy that was the anti-Trump. He was going to be the bold new way for Conservative leaders to rule. And here we are. It's set for defeated, as you said before, defeated doesn't quite put justice on the electoral thumping that these guys are about to get. And it's either a case of Trudeau just wants to be the selfless guy and help the party save a bit of furniture, or he just doesn't want to be the guy giving the resignation speech at the end of it. But I wonder, at the end of someone's reign like this, you always wonder, how will history remember him? I know how I'm going to remember Justin Trudeau. And it's two of the greatest headlines I've ever read in my life. And the first one I want to read out, as you said, Justin Trudeau says he doesn't know how many times he's worn blackface in his life. Imagine not knowing how many times you've done blackface in your life.
You can't even count it.
I remember 3 vividly, but after that, no.
And what other politician would survive that, even once?
Exactly.
Even once.
But the
if Trump did that. Yeah, exactly.
Now, this next headline, it's definitely not funny, but it's also very funny. It's Canadian Parliament accidentally honours Nazi.
Yes, I remember that too.
If you remember, this is when the Canadian Parliament honoured a Ukrainian Canadian citizen who, in the words of the Speaker of the House at the time, fought so bravely against the Russians in World War II. Now, I don't know if either of you guys are history buffs or not, but it turns out that we were on the side of the Russians in World War II, and someone should have done the maths on what that would mean the Ukrainian soldier would have been on.
You don't need to be a history buff to remember some pretty basic information like that. Look, Cal, I want to go to the next story here because in the US, Biden's successor, Donald Trump, he's enjoyed a dinner with Italian PM Giorgia Maloney at Mar-a-Lago. Now, this came before a screening of a documentary decrying the lawfare that was used against Trump's allies who tried to challenge his 2020 election loss. And the surprise visit comes ahead of Joe Biden's final visit to Italy on Thursday. Kel, it seems a much more natural relationship here between these two leaders than it would have ever been with Biden.
She is brilliant, absolutely wonderful. It is weird that the mainstream media still talks about her party, Brothers of Italy, as a far-right party. It's not a far-right party. It's a centre-right party. You've got to be hard left to think it belongs to the far right. And she's governing in Italy very cleverly. Her popularity ratings in Italy are huge. She's becoming the most powerful voice in the whole of the EU. So she is a model of how Conservative leaders lead. So I think her and Trump are just a natural combination in a sense. And there is a dear old man in the White House she could have visited, and somehow she decided not to, didn't she?
No, well, she wasn't getting any bravery honours and freedom honours, was she? So perhaps it wasn't worth her time.